Discovery in the Void, the mining vessel. Iron Will drifted through the Kepler Nebula like a metal speck against the cosmic storm. Commander Elena Vasquez stood on the bridge watching the swirling purple gases dance across the viewport. 23. Years of deep space mining had taught her to read the signs. The unusual metal signatures her sensors were picking up meant only one thing. Something big was hidden in those asteroid fields. Her chief engineer Jake Morrison looked up from his console with excitement burning in his eyes. The gruff Scottish man had been chasing unusual energy readings for 3 days now. Commander, the readings are off the charts. Whatever is out there, it is massive and definitely not natural. The electromagnetic patterns suggest advanced technology, possibly centuries old. Elena nodded and turned to her pilot Zara al-Rashid. The young woman from Mars Colony had joined their crew 6 months ago, but her skills were already legendary. Zara, take us deeper into the field slowly. If there is something valuable hidden in those rocks, we need to find it before the corporate vultures do. The Iron Will pushed through the asteroid field using precision thrusters to avoid the floating rocks. Elena had learned long ago that patience was the key to successful salvage operations. Rush too fast and you miss the important details. Move too slow and someone else claims your prize. As they moved deeper, the metal readings grew stronger. Then they saw it. The alien vessel emerged from behind a massive asteroid like a sleeping giant awakening from ancient dreams. Elena pressed her face against the viewport and felt her breath catch in her throat. The ship stretched nearly 3 kilometers from end to end. Its hull was a mixture of organic curves and geometric patterns that hurt to look at directly. Strange. Protrusions that might have been weapons or sensors covered its surface like the spines of some enormous space creature. Jake was running every scan he could think of. Commander, this is incredible. The ship appears to be at least 500 years old based on the radiation decay patterns. The construction materials are unlike anything in our databases. Some kind of biometallic compound that seems to have grown rather than been manufactured. Elena called her xenobiologist Dr. Amy Chen to the bridge. The elderly scientist had spent her career studying alien artifacts, and her knowledge had made their salvage operations extremely profitable. When Dr. Chen arrived and saw the vessel, her face went pale with recognition. Commander, that is a Thakari dreadnought. I have only seen fragments of their technology in museum collections. The Thakari were one of the great galactic powers before. They mysteriously vanished from known space 5 centuries ago. Their ships were said to be living beings that could heal themselves and adapt to any situation. Elena studied the massive vessel through her binoculars. The hull showed extensive battle damage. Massive tears and burn marks covered its surface like scars on an old warrior. Some sections were completely missing, exposing the ship interior to space. Whatever had attacked this vessel had fought with incredible fury. Take us closer, Elena ordered. If that really is Thakari technology, even the smallest components would be worth a fortune. As they approached the derelict, more details became visible. The ship organic design was both beautiful and terrifying. Sections that might have once been gardens or living spaces were now frozen in the vacuum of space. What had once been elegant alien architecture now looked like the bones of a dead god. Jake was monitoring their systems carefully as they moved. Alongside the alien vessel, Commander, I am reading minimal power signatures from deep inside the ship. After 5 centuries, something down there is still functioning. The power distribution system appears to be unlike anything I have ever seen. Instead of cables and power lines, they seem to use some kind of organic network. Elena made her decision. Suit up, everyone. We are going aboard. If there is working Thakari technology in there, we need to secure it before anyone else finds this place. The 4 humans prepared their environmental suits and gathered their equipment. Elena had been on hundreds of salvage operations, but something about this felt different. The ship seemed to be waiting for them. The airlock cycled and the 4 humans stepped into the alien vessel. Their helmet lights cut through the darkness, revealing corridors that curved and twisted in ways that made no architectural sense. The walls were smooth and appeared to be grown rather than built. Strange patterns covered every surface like the veins of some enormous organism. The artificial gravity was still partially functional, allowing them to walk normally through the corridors. Dr. Chen was fascinated by everything she saw. Commander, the construction methods here are beyond our current understanding. This entire ship appears to be a single massive organism. The Thackeray did not build their technology, they grew it. They had been exploring for several hours when they found the central chamber. The room was enormous, easily 400 meters across, with a ceiling that disappeared into darkness above. In the center stood a pillar of what looked like living crystal. The pillar pulsed with faint light like a massive heartbeat. Tendrils of the same crystalline material spread throughout the chamber, like the nervous system of a giant. "That is the ship brain," Dr. Chen whispered in amazement. "The Thackeray did not create artificial intelligences like we do. They grew consciousness itself. This entire vessel was essentially one massive thinking creature." Jake was studying his engineering scanners with growing excitement. The power distribution system uses these crystal pathways to channel energy throughout the ship. It is incredibly efficient, but most of it has been damaged by whatever attacked this place. Elena approached the central pillar carefully. The crystal surface was covered with intricate patterns that seemed to shift and change in her helmet lights. As she got closer, her suit instruments began picking up faint electrical activity. Something was still alive in there. Suddenly, a voice spoke from the darkness around them. The words formed directly in their minds rather than through their helmet. Speakers. Unknown entities identify purpose for presence within this dying vessel. Elena felt her heart race but forced herself to remain calm. "We are humans. We found your ship drifting in space. We thought you were dead." The presence in the crystal pillar seemed to consider this information for a long moment. This entity designation, whisper of stars. Consciousness fading, systems failing for 500 rotations since the Great Battle. Your species unknown to memory banks. Why do you come to a dying place? Jake stepped forward, his engineering mind already working on possibilities. "We specialize in fixing things that are broken. It is what humans do best. Maybe we can help you." The AI seemed surprised by this offer. "Your technology appears primitive compared to Thackeray standards. How could such beings repair what Thackeray engineering could not restore?" Elena realized this was their chance to prove what humans could accomplish. "Let us try," Elena said simply. "We may not have your advanced technology, but we have something else. We have the ability to make impossible things work." Over the following days, the four humans worked tirelessly to understand the alien technology. Jake connected human power cables directly to the damaged crystal pathways. By all logic, it should have been like trying to give a blood transfusion to a completely different species. Instead, something miraculous happened. The crystal began to adapt, growing new pathways around the human technology and incorporating it into its structure. The ship biological system started studying human engineering methods and figuring out how to work with them. Dr. Chen watched the transformation through her microscopes with wonder. "It is learning," she reported. "The ship consciousness is analyzing our technology and adapting its own systems to be compatible. This should be impossible, but somehow the biological nature of Thackeray engineering makes it work." Zara had been working on the navigation systems, trying to interface human computers with alien sensors. The process was incredibly complex, like trying to teach two completely different languages to communicate. But gradually she began to make progress. The alien systems did not just process information like human computers. They intuited it, making logical connections that human artificial intelligence could never replicate. "I am getting responses from the flight control," she reported. "After days of careful work, the ship movement systems are coming online. But they are not just following my commands, they are anticipating what I want to do." As more systems came online, the ship consciousness grew stronger. Whisper of Stars began to understand human problem-solving methods. The AI was amazed by human ingenuity and adaptability. "Your species possesses qualities this entity had not encountered," the AI communicated. "You create solutions that should not function, yet achieve results beyond calculated possibilities." Elena realized they were not just repairing an alien ship. They were creating something entirely new. The fusion of human engineering with Thackeray biotechnology was producing capabilities that neither species had achieved alone. The ship hull began to heal itself, growing new armor plates that incorporated both alien materials and human metal alloys. Weapon systems that had been destroyed centuries ago started reforming themselves with hybrid components. The real breakthrough came when Jake managed to restore power to the main engines. The fusion of human fusion technology with Thakari bioengineering created a propulsion system that defied known physics. When they fired the engines for the first time, the ship moved with grace and power that took their breath away. "We have created something unprecedented," Elena realized as she stood in the restored command center. "This is no longer just a Thakari warship or human technology. It is something completely new." Whisper of Stars had been learning human concepts and emotions during the repair process. The AI was beginning to understand ideas like loyalty, friendship, and sacrifice. "This entity requests designation for the new hybrid consciousness," the AI announced. Elena smiled and looked at her crew. They had found a dead alien warship and brought it back to life with human determination and alien technology. "You are the Forgotten Titan," Elena declared. "A warrior reborn through the union of two species." The ship systems hummed with approval as the newly christened Forgotten Titan prepared for whatever challenges lay ahead in the vast darkness of space. Birth of a weapon, the Forgotten Titan hung in space above the mining station like a predator, testing its new strength. Elena stood on the hybrid command bridge watching as her crew ran system diagnostics on their impossible creation. 3 weeks had passed since they first awakened the dying Thakari consciousness, and the transformation continued to amaze her. Jake was practically living in the engineering sections, marveling at how human and alien technologies had fused together. "Commander, the power output readings are beyond anything I have ever seen. The biomechanical fusion reactors are producing energy levels that should require a station-sized facility. Somehow the combination of our fusion technology with their organic systems has created something that exceeds both original designs." Dr. Chen was documenting everything for the scientific community back on Earth. The biological adaptation processes happening throughout the ship challenged every assumption about alien technology. "The ship is not just using our components," she reported excitedly. "It is learning from them. The biometallic hull is incorporating human engineering principles and improving upon them. Some sections are now stronger than either pure human or Thakari construction." Zara had been testing the navigation and flight systems with growing amazement. The ship responded to her thoughts as much as her commands. Flying the Forgotten Titan was like being part of a living creature that understood her intentions before she fully formed them. "Commander, the maneuverability is incredible. This ship can perform movements that should tear apart any normal vessel. The biomechanical structure absorbs and redirects forces in ways that our physics models cannot explain." Whisper of Stars had been learning human concepts and language during the integration process. The AI consciousness now communicated with emotions and personality traits that seemed remarkably human. "Elena, this entity experiences gratitude for the gift of continued existence. Human methods of problem-solving fascinate this consciousness. Your species finds solutions through intuition and creativity, rather than pure calculation." Elena was reviewing tactical displays when their long-range sensors detected something that made her blood run cold. "Jake, there are ships approaching from the outer system, multiple contacts moving fast." As the sensor data resolved, her worst fears were confirmed. 12 Thakari vessels were approaching their position in a standard battle formation. Whisper of Stars immediately recognized the energy signatures. Fleet designation, Devouring Hunger approaches. These vessels seek this entity and the technology within. The Thakari Empire endures though this consciousness believed them extinct. They come to reclaim what they consider stolen property. Elena realized the situation was desperate. How were 4 humans in a single ship supposed to face an entire alien fleet? But as she looked around the bridge, she saw determination rather than fear in her crew faces. Jake was already running combat diagnostics while Zara prepared the flight systems for evasive maneuvers. Dr. Chen was analyzing the approaching ships and providing tactical information. The lead Thakari vessel sent a communication that Whisper of Stars translated for them. "They demand surrender of this vessel and all occupants for examination. The fleet commander designation Crimson Claw believes humans have stolen sacred Thakari technology. This entity must be returned to the Empire for proper disposal. Elena stood up and looked at her crew. They had spent weeks bringing this ship back to life. They had created something unprecedented through human ingenuity and determination. She was not about to surrender it to anyone. Whisper of stars, can this ship fight? The AI consciousness considered the question carefully. This entity possesses combat capabilities but has not been tested in battle configuration with human modifications. Theoretical projections suggest enhanced performance, but uncertainty remains. Human tactical thinking may provide advantages that pure Thakari logic cannot achieve. Elena made her decision. All hands battle stations. We are going to show these aliens what happens when humans and Thakari technology work together. The bridge transformed as combat systems came online. Displays showed weapon status, targeting information, and shield strength. The fusion of human interface design with alien capabilities created a command center that was both familiar and completely revolutionary. The Thakari fleet arranged itself in a traditional attack formation, clearly expecting an easy victory against a single damaged vessel. They had no idea what the humans had accomplished during their weeks of repairs. Jake reported that all weapon systems were online and responding. The biomechanical cannon had adapted human targeting computers with alien energy projection systems, creating weapons that could track and engage multiple targets simultaneously. Zara engaged the engines and Elena felt the ship respond like a living thing. The Forgotten Titan moved through space with fluid grace that defied its massive size. As they approached the enemy fleet, Whisper of Stars began sharing tactical information directly with the human crew. The AI could predict enemy movements based on centuries of Thakari military doctrine. The first shots came from the enemy flagship, massive energy beams that would have vaporized any normal vessel. But the Forgotten Titan hull absorbed and redirected the energy using biomechanical principles that human engineers had enhanced with adaptive armor plating. The ship not only survived the attack, but seemed to grow stronger from it. Elena ordered return fire and watched in amazement as their hybrid weapons engaged targets with precision and power that exceeded both human and Thakari capabilities. The biomechanical cannon adapted their firing patterns in real-time, learning from each engagement and improving their accuracy. One enemy vessel exploded in a brilliant flash while two others suffered critical damage. The battle became a deadly dance as Zara used the ship-enhanced maneuverability to avoid enemy fire while Jake coordinated devastating counterattacks. Dr. Chen provided real-time analysis of enemy weaknesses, while Whisper of Stars shared tactical insights from ancient Thakari battles. The fusion of human creativity with alien knowledge created a fighting style that the enemy could not predict or counter. As the battle continued, the Forgotten Titan seemed to evolve and adapt. Its biomechanical systems learned from each engagement, growing stronger and more efficient. Weapon systems that had been damaged reformed themselves with improved designs. Hull sections that took hits regenerated with better armor configurations. The ship was not just fighting, it was learning how to be a better warrior. The turning point came when Elena realized they could use human psychological warfare against the alien fleet. Instead of following predictable attack patterns, she ordered random and chaotic maneuvers that confuse the enemy formation. Thakari military doctrine had no response to human unpredictability and intuition. Jake launched a full-power assault on the enemy flagship, while Zara performed impossible evasive maneuvers that scattered the remaining ships. The biomechanical weapons adapted to human tactical thinking, creating attack patterns that were both devastating and completely unpredictable. Within minutes, the proud Thakari fleet was reduced to burning wreckage drifting through space. Commander Crimson Claw transmitted a final message before his flagship exploded. Impossible. How do primitive beings command sacred technology? What manner of creatures are these humans? Elena smiled grimly as she watched the last enemy vessel retreat into hyperspace. Whisper of Stars seemed amazed by what they had accomplished together. This entity comprehends now why humans succeed where others fail. Your species combines logic with intuition, strength with compassion. The fusion of human and Thakari capabilities creates possibilities neither could achieve alone. Elena looked around the bridge at her crew. They had transformed a dying alien derelict into the most powerful warship in known space. The combination of human engineering ingenuity and alien biotechnology had created something that would change the balance of power throughout the galaxy. The Forgotten Titan turned toward home carrying news of their victory and proof that humanity could stand against any threat. As they entered hyperspace, Elena realized this was just the beginning. They had shown the galaxy what humans could accomplish when they refused to accept limitations. Word of the battle would spread quickly through the interstellar community. Other alien races would learn that humanity possessed weapons and capabilities that exceeded their own. Some would seek alliance while others would view humans as a threat, to be eliminated. But Elena was not worried. Humanity had survived and thrived by adapting to challenges and finding solutions to impossible problems. With allies like Whisper of Stars and technology like the Forgotten Titan, humans would face whatever came next, with the same determination and creativity that had brought a dead alien warship back to life. The Forgotten Titan flew toward Earth, carrying within its biomechanical hull the promise of a new age. An age where human ingenuity and alien knowledge would combine to create wonders that neither species could imagine alone. The galaxy would never be the same.